Hello, everyone. Welcome. Today, I want to share a truth that separates ordinary lives from extraordinary ones. The difference isn't talent, luck, or timing. It's mindset. And the mindset I want you to embrace is simple but powerful. Don't limit your challenge, your limits. Too many people in life are stopped by what they think they can't do. They see challenges as walls. But here's the thing. Challenges are not walls. They are doors. Doors to growth, strength, and transformation. To step through those doors, you must stop limiting yourself. Stop saying, I can't. Stop letting fear define your actions and start saying, I will find a way. Comfort is the enemy of progress. If you always play it safe, you will never discover how strong you truly are. When you want to succeed as badly as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. That level of intensity requires stepping out of comfort and facing challenges head on. Discomfort is a sign you're growing, so don't shy away from it. Every challenge you face is a chance to stretch yourself. Stop seeing obstacles as threats and see them as stepping stones. The bigger the challenge, the bigger the opportunity to show yourself what you're capable of. Ask yourself, how can this make me stronger? How can this make me better? Most of the limits we face are self-imposed. We tell ourselves, I'm not smart enough, fast enough, or ready enough. Your mind is your battlefield. When there and the world becomes conquerable, challenge your mind daily with higher expectation. Failure isn't a stop sign. It's a lesson. Everyone who has achieved greatness has failed. Michael Jordan, Thomas Edison, Oprah, they all faced setbacks that could have ended their dreams. But they didn't stop. You must persist, adapt, and keep moving forward because your limit only exists until you push past it. Your environment matters. Energy is contagious. If you surround yourself with negativity or people who doubt you, your limits shrink. Surround yourself with those who challenge you, push you, and refuse to accept mediocrity. Let them hold you accountable to a high standard. Too often, we look at others' achievements and feel limited. Stop comparing. Stop focusing on your growth. Your only competition is who you were yesterday. Challenge your limits by setting personal benchmarks and striving to exceed them. Success is a personal journey, not a race against others. Dreams without action are just fantasies. The challenge is not in knowing what to do, it's in doing it. Excuses are easy. Results are hard. The moment you take responsibility and act despite fear, doubt, or fatigue, you begin challenging your limits in real terms. The ultimate challenge isn't just personal growth, it's impact. True greatness is leaving a mark that inspires others to push their limits. Challenge your limits not just for yourself, but to show others that barriers are meant to be broken. The world doesn't remember comfort, it remembers courage. So I leave you with this. Don't let life's challenges define what you can do. Let them stretch, shape, and transform you. Stop limiting yourself with fear, doubt, and comfort. Step into your discomfort. Break your mental barriers. Persist through failure. Act every single day with intent. And when you do, you'll find that your limits aren't walls. They're only starting line. Challenge your limits and the world will be forced to rise to meet you. When we talk about growth, most people think about growth as something comfortable. They think it's about learning a little, improving a little, maybe stepping slightly outside their comfort zone. But let me tell you something. Growth is never comfortable. Growth is messy. Growth is uncomfortable. Growth is exactly the thing that will make you sweat. The thing that will make your heart race, the thing that will make you question yourself. And if you are not willing to face discomfort, you are not willing to grow. It's as simple as that. The world doesn't give you trophies for staying comfortable. The world doesn't give you medals for coasting through life. Comfort is easy. Comfort is safe. Comfort will keep you small. It will keep you stagnant, and it will keep you dreaming instead of doing. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but I'm comfortable where I am. I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to fail. And that's exactly the problem. Because when you make comfort your priority, you make your limits your master. You start saying things like, I can't do that. That's too much. Or maybe tomorrow, or I'm not ready yet. And the truth is, you will never feel ready. You will never feel fully prepared. The person who is fully ready to face life doesn't exist. There's no such thing as perfect timing. There is only action taken in spite of fear, doubt, and uncertainty, and that's why discomfort is necessary. It forces you to take action even when you don't feel ready. Think about it. Every great story of achievement, every story of success you admire involves discomfort, every single one. Think about Michael Jordan. Think about when he got cut from his high school basketball team. Do you think that was comfortable? Do you think that felt good? Of course not. It was painful, it was embarrassing, but that discomfort fueled him. That discomfort lit a fire under him that he could never ignore. He didn't stay comfortable. He didn't wallow in what he couldn't do. He decided to embrace the pain and let it push him beyond what he thought were his limits. And that's what you have to do too. You have to let the uncomfortable moments shape you. You have to let them remind you that you are alive, that you are growing, and that you are capable of more than you are giving yourself credit for. Discomfort is a teacher, but most people run from the teacher. Most people see the challenge, they see the difficulty, and they think, this is too hard. I'm going to avoid it. And when you avoid it, you rob yourself of the lesson. You rob yourself of the opportunity to grow. You rob yourself of the chance to discover what you're really made of. The moment you face discomfort, that's the moment you realize just how much potential you have. The moment you embrace the challenge, that's when you see that you are stronger, smarter, and more resilient than you ever imagined. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have a goal, a dream, something you've been chasing for a long time. Maybe it's a promotion at work. Maybe it's starting your own business. Maybe it's getting in shape. Maybe it's learning a new skill. Whatever it is, it comes with discomfort. It comes with hard work. It comes with sacrifice. And most people will quit before they even get started because they focus on the discomfort instead of the reward. They see the long hours, the effort, the sweat, the failures, and they say, oh no, not for me. But here's the truth. Discomfort is not the enemy. Discomfort is the price of admission. Discomfort is the gateway to growth. The more you embrace it, the faster you move, the stronger you become, and the closer you get to your dream. And it's not just about physical discomfort. It's about mental and emotional discomfort too. There are days when you will feel like quitting. There are days when the fear of failing will weigh on you so heavily that you feel paralyzed. There are moments when everyone around you will doubt you, and even you will doubt yourself. And in those moments, you have to remind yourself that discomfort is proof that you're doing something worthwhile. Discomfort is proof that you're stretching, that you're moving beyond your safe little bubble, and that you're growing into the person you're meant to become. You have to embrace it. You have to lean into it. You have to make it your friend instead of your enemy. Let me tell you something else. Discomfort is not permanent. That's a truth most people forget. The fear, the pain, the struggle, it doesn't last forever. What lasts is what you build through it. What lasts is the strength, the resilience, the character you develop while facing it. So when you feel uncomfortable, when you feel afraid, when you feel exhausted or unsure, remind yourself, this is temporary, but what I'm becoming is permanent. Every time you push past the discomfort, you grow a little stronger. Every time you keep going when it's hard, you expand your limits a little more. Every time you refuse to quit, you become someone capable of handling anything life throws at you. Now, let's be honest. Most people will never embrace discomfort. Most people will never push themselves to their limits because it's uncomfortable. They will stick to what's easy, what's familiar, what's predictable. And that's why most people never reach their potential. That's why most people settle for less than they're capable of. But not you. Not if you decide right now that discomfort is your friend. Not if you decide that you are going to chase your dreams with everything you have, no matter how uncomfortable it gets. Not if you decide that every challenge, every obstacle, every painful moment is an opportunity to grow and become the best version of yourself. And here's something powerful. When you embrace discomfort, you start to see it everywhere. You start to welcome challenges instead of avoiding them. You start to see every setback as a lesson, every criticism as a tool, every obstacle as a stepping stone. You stop being afraid of hard work and you start loving it. You stop being afraid of failure and you start seeing it as feedback. You stop limiting yourself because you realize that your limits are only where you place them. And that's when the transformation happens. That's when ordinary becomes extraordinary. That's when you start living at a level most people only dream about. I want you to imagine for a second what your life would look like if you truly embraced discomfort. Imagine waking up every day knowing that you are willing to do whatever it takes. No matter how hard it is, no matter how scary it feels. Imagine pushing yourself past your fears, past your doubts, past your excuses, and doing the work that most people won't. Imagine the kind of person you would become, the kind of strength you would develop, the kind of confidence you would build, and the kind of results you would achieve. That is the power of embracing discomfort. That is the power of growth. That is the difference between someone who dreams and someone who achieves. And let me be clear, this is not easy. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. You will struggle, you will sweat, you will cry, you will want to quit. You will want to quit. But that's exactly the point. The struggle, the sweat, the tears, they are proof that you are growing. They are proof that you are pushing your limits. They are proof that you are becoming more than you were yesterday. You cannot avoid them and expect to grow. You cannot take shortcuts and expect to achieve greatness. You must embrace the discomfort. Because on the other side of discomfort is the life you've always dreamed about, the version of yourself you've always wanted to become, and the success you've always imagined. And here's another thing. Embracing discomfort builds discipline. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. Discipline is what separates those about what they want and those who actually achieve it. And discipline is built through repeated exposure to discomfort. Every time you force yourself to do the hard thing, every time you stay focused when everyone else gives up, every time you choose growth over comfort, you are building a discipline that will carry you through every challenge in life. Without discomfort, discipline doesn't exist. Without discomfort, growth doesn't exist. Without discomfort, you remain stuck, limited, and unfulfilled. So what does it look like to embrace discomfort in practical terms? It looks like showing up when you don't feel like it. It looks like putting in the extra hours when everyone else is relaxing. It looks like learning new skills even when it's frustrating. It looks like taking risks even when failure seems likely. It looks like having difficult conversations instead of avoiding them. It looks like confronting your fears instead of running from them. It looks like being willing to fail over and over again because you know that failure is only a step toward mastery. It looks like persistence, resilience, and relentless determination. And I want you to remember this. The more you embrace discomfort, the less intimidating life becomes. The more challenges you face, the more capable you become. The more you stretch yourself, the more your limits expand. What once seemed impossible starts to feel possible. What once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. What once felt scary becomes exciting. And the person you become in the process is unstoppable. That's the power of embracing discomfort. That is the essence of growth. That is what separates those who achieve from those who dream. So today, I challenge you to stop running from discomfort. I challenge you to stop seeking comfort at the expense of your potential. I challenge you to see every difficult moment, every struggle, every challenge as a gift that will make you stronger, wiser, and better. I challenge you to step into the fire, to embrace the hard, to pursue the uncomfortable, because that is where growth lives. That is where your limits are tested. That is where your greatness is waiting. And if you do that, if you truly embrace discomfort, if you stop avoiding the hard thing, if you stop playing it safe, if you start challenging yourself every single day, you will look back one day and realize that the person you have become is more than you ever imagined. You will realize that your limits were never real. You will realize that the discomfort you feared was the very thing that set you free. And you will understand with every fiber of your being that growth is born in struggle, strength is born in pain, and success is born in discomfort. So I leave you with this final thought. Stop waiting for life to be easy. Stop waiting for the perfect time, the perfect conditions, the perfect circumstances. Stop avoiding the discomfort that life throws at you. Lean into it. Embrace it. Let it mold you, shape you, and transform you. Because every time you choose growth over comfort, every time you face what scares you, every time you push yourself past what you thought were your limits, you are becoming the person you were always meant to be. And that, my friends, is the only way to live a life that matters. Most people look at challenges and immediately think, this is a problem. They see the obstacle, the difficulty, the resistance, and they shrink back. They think, this is too much for me. I can't handle this. And in that moment, they limit themselves. They stop before they even begin. But here's the truth. Challenges are not problems. Challenges are opportunities. They are invitations for you to stretch, to grow, to step into the person you are capable of becoming. The problem is not the challenge itself. The problem is your mindset. How you see it, how you respond to it, how you choose to frame it, that's what determines whether you succeed or remain stuck. Let me be clear. Life is never going to hand you a straight path. Life is never going to make it easy. You will face resistance. You will face setbacks. You will face obstacles. That's guaranteed. But here's the beauty of it. Every obstacle, every roadblock, every no you receive is an opportunity to learn, to adapt and innovate and to rise. The difference between people who succeed and people who don't is how they interpret their challenges. Do they see the challenge as a stop sign, or do they see it as a stepping stone? Do they see the difficulty as defeat, or do they see it as a test of their strength and determination? That's the choice you have to make every single day. Think about every successful person you know. Look at their lives. What do you see? You see setbacks. You see struggles. You see moments where it seemed impossible. But here's the secret. They didn't let the challenge define them. They reframed it. They said, this is not the end. This is an opportunity to prove myself. Take Thomas Edison, for example. He failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Did he see those failures as defeat? No, he saw them as data. He saw them as feedback. He said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. That's reframing. That's turning a challenge into an opportunity. And that's what you must do too. Now, I know it's not easy. Challenges are uncomfortable, and it's human nature to avoid discomfort. When life pushes back, when things get hard, your first instinct is to step away. You want to retreat to safety. But safety is where dreams go to die. Safety is where potential goes to waste. If you want to achieve something extraordinary, if you want to leave a mark, you cannot let challenges scare you. You must learn to embrace them. You must learn to see the struggle as the fuel that propels you forward. Every difficulty is a chance to discover how strong you really are, how resilient you really are, and how far you can really go. Let me give you a real-life example. Imagine a young athlete, someone who dreams of making it to the top level of their sport. Every day they face challenges, long practices, injuries, setbacks, doubts from coaches, criticism from peers. Most people would quit. Most people would look at those challenges and say, this is too hard. I'm done. But the athlete who succeeds is the one who reframes those challenges. When they get injured, they see it as an opportunity to strengthen other parts of their game. When they get cut from the team, they see it as motivation to train harder. When someone doubts them, they see it as fuel to prove them wrong. That's the mindset that turns obstacles into opportunities. That's the mindset that creates champions. It's not just athletes. Look at entrepreneurs, look at leaders, look at artists. Every person who has achieved something meaningful has faced challenges. Every innovation, every breakthrough, every success story is built on a foundation of obstacles that were reframed as opportunities. Steve Jobs faced countless rejections, failures, and setbacks before building Apple into a global powerhouse. Oprah Winfrey faced abuse, poverty, and discrimination before becoming one of the most influential people in the world. J.K. Rowling faced rejection after rejection before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. What's the common thread? They didn't see challenges as the end. They saw them as the beginning. They saw them as the opportunity to grow, to push past limits, and to create something extraordinary, So how do you reframe your challenges? It starts with your mindset. The first step is awareness. You have to notice when you are treating a challenge as a roadblock instead of a stepping stone. You have to catch yourself when your thoughts are saying, I can't, this is too hard, or we'll never make it. Once you notice it, you can change it. You can choose to say, this is hard. Yes, but hard is an opportunity. Hard is the teacher. Hard is the test that will make me better. Every time you do this, you strengthen your mind. Every time you reframe a challenge, you grow a little more. Every time you turn fear into curiosity, doubt into determination, and difficulty into a lesson, you move closer to your true potential. Let me tell you something else. Challenges are also opportunities for creativity. When you face a problem, when you encounter resistance, you are forced to think differently, to innovate, to find solutions that you wouldn't have considered if everything was easy. Some of the greatest inventions and breakthroughs in history were born out of necessity, out of struggle, out of challenge. When you reframe a challenge as an opportunity, you tap into your creative potential. You start seeing solutions where others only see problems. You start finding paths where others only see walls. And that ability to innovate, to think differently, to adapt is what separates the average from the extraordinary. But here's the thing, reframing challenges takes courage to face what you fear. It takes courage to look at a problem and say, I will turn this into my advantage. It takes courage to keep moving when everyone else is giving up, when the world is telling you no, when circumstances are stacked against you. Most people lack this courage. Most people take the easy route. But you cannot achieve greatness without it. You must be willing to stand in the fire, to face discomfort, to turn setbacks into setup, and to see opportunity where others see defeat. That is what separates those who succeed from those who fail. And here's the most important part. Reframing challenges is not a one-time event. It is a habit. It is a daily practice. Every time life pushes back, every time you are tested, every time things don't go your way, you have the chance to reframe. You have the chance to say, this is not stopping me. This is teaching me. This is shaping me. This is preparing me for something greater. And the more you do this, the stronger you become. The more resilient you become. The more unstoppable you become. Because life will never stop throwing challenges at you. Life will never stop testing you. But if you learn to see every challenge as an opportunity, you will never be defeated. Let me ask you something. What if you started seeing challenges as blessings instead of burdens? What if every obstacle became a stepping stone? Every difficulty became a lesson. Every failure became feedback. How different would your life be? How much further would you go if you stopped shrinking from adversity and started embracing it? The truth is, the difference between where you are and where you want to be is not talent, not luck, not timing. It is your ability to see opportunity in every challenge, to rise above every difficulty, and to persist when others quit. That is the ultimate key to success. And it's not just about success in the traditional sense. Reframing challenges transforms your entire perspective on life. It makes you stronger, more confident, more resilient, and more resourceful. It teaches you patience, persistence, and perseverance. It teaches you to take responsibility for your growth and your future. It teaches you that the world is not against you. It is for you if you are willing to see the opportunities that exist in every challenge. That's power. That is freedom. That is growth. So I challenge you today to look at your challenges differently. I challenge you to stop seeing obstacles as reasons to quit and start seeing them as opportunities to grow. I challenge you to step into the hard moments with courage, determination, and faith in yourself. I challenge you to turn fear into fuel, doubt into drive, and difficulty into determination. Every time you do this, you are rewiring your mind. Every time you do this, you are expanding your limits. Every time you do this, you are one step closer to becoming the person you are meant to be. Remember this, the bigger the challenge, the bigger the opportunity. The harder the struggle, the greater the reward. The more resistance you face, the more powerful you become. Don't shy away from the challenges that scare. Don't run from the difficulties that intimidate you. Lean into them, embrace them, learn from them. Learn from them, grow from them. Because on the other side of every challenge is the person you were meant to be, the success you were meant to achieve, and the life you were meant to live. And I want you to understand this deeply. Life is going to test you. Life is going to push you. Life is going to make you feel like you can't go on. That's inevitable. But how you respond, that is your choice. Will you see the test as an obstacle, or will you see it as an opportunity? Will you see the pushback as defeat, or will you see it as a lesson? Will you shrink, or will you rise? The choice is yours. And if you choose to reframe, if you choose to see challenges as opportunities, if you choose to rise above every difficulty, then nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop you. So today I want you to make a commitment. Make a commitment that no challenge will ever intimidate you again. Make a commitment that every difficulty will become a lesson. Every obstacle will become a stepping stone. Every no will become fuel for your growth. Make a commitment to reframe your challenges and see the opportunities hidden within them. And when you do, you will discover a version of yourself that is stronger, braver, and more capable than you ever imagined. You will discover a version of yourself that refuses to quit, that refuses to settle, that refuses to accept limits. You will discover a version of yourself that turns every challenge into an opportunity, and that is unstoppable. Remember this, the world will throw challenges at you. It is inevitable. Your response to those challenges determines your life. Will you let them defeat you, or will you let them define you? Will you see them as barriers, or will you see them as opportunities? Will you shrink, or will you rise? The choice is yours, and it starts right now. Embrace your challenges, reframe them, see the opportunity in every struggle, and watch as your life transforms, your potential expands, and your limits disappear. Most people don't realize that the only thing truly holding them back in life is their own mind. Not the economy, not other people, not circumstances, your mind. The limits you believe exist, the stories you tell yourself, the doubts you allow to creep in, those are the real barriers. If you want to achieve greatness, if you want to rise above mediocrity, you must break your mental barriers. You must demolish the walls you built in your own head. Because until you do that, nothing else will change. You can have every resource in the world, every connection, every opportunity, and yet, if your mind is limited, you will never tap into your true potential. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself, I'm not good enough, I can't do that, not what it takes? How many times have you stopped yourself before you even tried because your mind whispered lies in your ear? That's what mental barriers do. You're smaller than you are, weaker than you are, and less capable than you are, and less capable than you are. And the harsh reality is those barriers are false. They are delusions, but they feel real. And that's why most people let them win. Most people let fear, doubt, and insecurity dictate their life. And as a result, they live far below their potential. But here's the truth. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the belief that you can't have it. The only thing standing between you and your dreams is the idea that you are limited. And the moment you realize that, you have the power to break free. You have the power to shatter the ceiling you placed over your life. You have the power to tell your mind, no more. You will not control me. I'm bigger than your fears. I'm stronger than your doubts. I am capable of more than you can imagine. That's the first step. Breaking mental barriers starts with awareness, awareness that they exist, awareness that they're aligned to you, and awareness that you have the power to destroy them. Let me give you a real example. Think about a person who grew up believing they weren't smart enough to go to college. Every teacher, every circumstance, every failure reinforced that idea. They believed it, and for years that belief helped, but the moment they decided to challenge it, the moment they decided to push past the voice in their head that said, you can't, everything changed. They studied harder than anyone else. They applied for scholarships they thought they didn't deserve. They stayed up late when everyone else was sleeping, determined to prove themselves. And eventually, they achieved what they once thought impossible. That's the power of breaking mental barrier. It is the power of refusing to let your mind dictate your life. Breaking mental barriers requires courage. It requires the willingness to confront the lies you've been telling yourself for years. It requires the willingness to feel uncomfortable because most mental barriers exist in the space where growth happens. They exist where fear, doubt, and insecurity live. And if you want to grow, if you want to achieve greatness, you have to enter that space. You have to face the fear. You have to confront the doubt. You have to challenge the insecurity. And when you do, you realize something incredible. Those barriers were never real. They were never stronger than you. They were never more powerful than your will to succeed. Let me tell you something else. Mental barriers are reinforced by repetition. Every time you tell yourself, I can't, every time you accept the story that says, I'm not good enough, you are building a wall higher. But every time you challenge that thought, every time you push past it, every time you say, I will try anyway, you chip away at that wall. You weaken it. You break it down, brick by brick, thought by thought, action by action. And the more you do this, the more freedom you create in your mind, the more possibilities you see, the more confident you become, the more unstoppable you become. And here's the thing, breaking mental barriers isn't just about achieving goals. It's about reclaiming your power. It's about taking control of your life. It's about refusing to let fear, doubt, and insecurity make your decisions for you. It's about stepping into the full potential that has always been inside you, but it's been trapped by the limitations you believe were real. The moment you break a mental barrier, you feel it. You feel freedom. You feel strength, you feel possibility, and that feeling is addictive. Once you experience it, you will never want to go back. Let's talk about fear for a second. Fear is one of the most powerful mental barriers there is. Fear convinces you to stay small. Fear convinces you to avoid risk. Fear convinces you that failure is the end instead of a stepping stone. And the problem is fear is sneaky. It hides in excuses. It hides in I don't have time. It hides in I'm too tired. It hides in maybe tomorrow. And the only way to break through is to confront it head on. You have to say, I see you, fear. I know what you're doing, but you will not control me. I am going to act anyway. Every time you do this, you weaken fear. Every time you act despite fear, you grow stronger. Every time you push through fear, you expand your limits. And doubt works the same way. Doubt is the voice in your head that said, I can't do this. It's the voice that questions your abilities, undermines your confidence, and tries to convince you to settle for less. But doubt only has power if you listen to it. Break mental barriers by refusing to listen to doubt. Replace it with belief. Replace it with action. Replace it with the truth that you are capable, that you are strong, that you have what it takes. Doubt cannot exist when you are committed to growth, when you are relentless in pursuit of your goals, and when you refuse to let your mind betray you. And don't forget the barrier of self-perception. The stories you tell yourself about who you are and what you deserve can either limit you or set you free. Many people go through life believing they are not worthy of success, happiness, or greatness. They see themselves as small, unimportant, or incapable. And because they believe it, they act accordingly. But the moment you break that perception, the moment you tell yourself, I am worthy, I am capable, I am enough, everything changes. Your actions align with your belief. Your confidence grows, your opportunities multiply, and your limits expand. Breaking mental barriers starts with changing the story you tell yourself. Think about athletes again. Most of their limits exist in their mind before they ever exist in their body. The runner who doubts they can finish the race is more likely to quit long before their legs give out. The weightlifter who believes they can't lift the next level is more likely to fail before they even try. The moment they break the mental barrier, the moment they tell themselves, I can do this, their body follows their mind. That's how it works in life too. Your mind leads, your actions follow, and your reality shifts. Break the mental barrier, and the impossible becomes possible. Now, I know breaking mental barriers sounds hard, and it is. It's not easy to confront the lies you believe your whole life. It's not easy to challenge the fears that have kept you small. It's not easy to stand up to the voice in your head that says you can't. But nothing worth having comes easy. Nothing worth achieving comes without struggle. And the truth is, your mind is the final frontier. Once you break through that, nothing in the outside world can stop you. You will have unlocked a power, a resilience, and a confidence that is unstoppable. Let's talk about how to do it practically. First, you must identify the barriers. Write them down, say them out loud, acknowledge them. Most people never confront their mental barriers because they don't even see them. Awareness is step one. Step two is to challenge them. Every time a limiting thought comes into your mind, question it. Ask yourself, is this true? Is this real? Or is this just fear talking? Step three is to replace the thought with truth and action. Replace, I can't with you, I will try. Replace, I'm not ready with I will prepare. Replace, I'm too small with I am enough. And step four is relentless repetition. Do this over and over again. Every challenge, every obstacle. That's how mental barriers crumble. That's how growth accelerates. And here's the most powerful part. Breaking mental barriers is contagious. When you do it, you inspire others to do it. When people see you pushing past what seemed impossible, when they see you refuse to be limited by fear, doubt, or self-perception, they start questioning their own barriers. They start believing in their own power. You become a living example of what's possible. And that ripple effect is unstoppable. By breaking your mental barriers, you don't just change your life, you influence the lives of everyone around you. So I want you to make a promise to yourself today. A promise that no mental barrier will ever hold you back again. A promise that every time your mind says, you can't, you will respond, or watch me. A promise that you will confront fear, challenge doubt, and refuse to accept limits. A promise that you will take full control of your mind, and in doing so, take full control of your life. The moment you make that promise, the moment you commit to breaking mental barriers, is the moment your life changes forever. Remember this: the mind is both the prison and the key. It can keep you small, limited, and fearful, or it can set you free, expand your potential, and unlock greatness. Your choice is simple but profound. Will you remain confined by the stories you've been telling yourself, or will you break free and create a new narrative? Will you let your fears, doubts, and insecurities dictate your life, or will you rise above and dominate? The choice is yours, and it starts now. And I want you to understand one more thing. Breaking mental barriers is not a one-time event. It's a lifestyle, it's a commitment, it's a daily practice. Every day, you will face thoughts, feelings, and situations that try to convince you that you are limited. Every day, you must challenge them. Every day, you must remind yourself of your strength, your capability, and your potential. Every day, you must choose growth over fear, courage over comfort, and action over excuses. That's the only way to truly break free from your mental barriers. So today, start small if you must, but start. Confront one fear, challenge one doubt, push past one limitation, and tomorrow do it again. And the next day, do it again. Brick by brick, thought by thought, action by action, your mental barriers will crumble. And when they do, when you stand free from the limits you once believed were real, you will see the world in a whole new way. You will see possibilities where once there were none. You will see opportunities where once there were obstacles. You will see yourself as unstoppable, unbreakable, and limitless. So I leave you with this final thought. The only limits that exist in your life are the ones you place on yourself. Break them, challenge them, confront them, and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. Your mind is powerful. Your mind is capable. Your mind is your greatest asset. Treat it as such. Protect it, train it, push it. And when you do it, it will be nothing in this world that can stop you, nothing. Let me tell you something that most people don't understand. Talent is overrated. Talent is just potential. Talent is just a starting point. It can open doors, yes, but it cannot take you across the finish line. What actually separates those who succeed from those who fail is persistent, relentless, unstoppable, no matter what persistence, because talent alone is not enough. You can be the smartest, the fastest, the most gifted person in the room, but if you quit when it gets hard, if you give up when failure comes knocking, if you let fear and doubt control your actions, all that talent means nothing. Persistence beats talent every single time. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you take control of your life. Think about it. How many people have natural gifts but never achieve greatness? They have the talent, the intelligence, the ability, but they lack the one thing that actually matters: the grit to push through, the determination to keep going, the refusal to quit. And on the other side, you have people who might not be the most gifted, who might not be the most naturally talented, but they refuse to quit. They show up every day. They do the work no one sees. They persist when others fold. They grind when others rest. And over time, their persistence compounds. Their small daily actions turn into massive results. Their consistency builds unstoppable momentum. That's the power of persistence. Persistence is not just about trying once or twice. It's about showing up every single day, even when it's hard. It's about waking up when you're tired. It's about pushing when your body says stop. It's about continuing when the world seems against you. Most people quit at the first sign of difficulty. Most people give up when the results don't come fast enough. But greatness is never instant. It is forged in the fire of effort, shaped by the hammer of persistence, and polished by the daily grind. You have to commit to the long haul. You have to show up even when you don't feel like it, even when you're afraid, even when no one is watching. That is what separates the winners from the rest. Let me give you an example. Look at the life of Michael Jordan. People say he's the greatest basketball player of all time, but what they forget is that he was cut from his high school team. He wasn't born an NBA star. He didn't just magically succeed. He failed. He failed publicly. He failed repeatedly, but he didn't quit. He persisted. He practiced harder than anyone else. He pushed through the disappointment. He showed up every day, refusing to be defined by failure. And the result? The world watched him rise to heights that most people could only dream about. That is the power of persistence. Persistence is also about mindset. It's about believing in yourself when no one else does. It's about trusting the process when the results haven't arrived yet. It's about holding on to your vision even when circumstances try to shake it from your grasp. Most people give up because they are impatient. They want instant results. They want immediate gratification. But life doesn't work that way. Success is earned, not given. And the people who achieve it are the ones who persist long after the excitement has faded, long after the applause is gone, long after everyone else has walked away. And here's the secret most people overlook. Persistence creates opportunity. You see, the world rewards those who keep going. Doors open for the person who doesn't quit. Even when talent fails to impress, persistence shines. Because persistence builds trust, builds credibility, and builds skill. Every time you push through failure, every time you continue when it's hard, every time you do the work no one else wants to do, you are becoming stronger, smarter, and more capable. And over time, that strength, that skill, that reputation compounds into success that no talent alone could achieve. Persistence is also about learning from failure. Most people quit because they interpret failure as a final judgment. But failure is not final. Failure is feedback. Failure is a lesson. Failure is the universe telling you, not yet. Keep going, refine, adjust, persist. Every successful person has failed countless times. Every successful person has faced moments where quitting seemed easier than continuing. Every successful person has been told no, denied, rejected, and doubted. And yet they persisted. They used each failure as fuel. They used each setback as motivation. They used every obstacle as a stepping stone. That is how persistence beats talent. Persistence is also about consistency. Small, consistent actions over time beat sporadic bursts of brilliance. Most people think talent is about moments of greatness, one amazing performance, one lucky break. But talent without consistency fades quickly. Persistence without brilliance still creates results. Why? Because results are built on repetition, on discipline, on showing up again and again, even when it's hard. Every day you persist, every day you continue, every day you refuse to quit. You are building the momentum that will carry you past everyone who relies solely on talent. And here's the point that nobody tells you. Persistence is not glamorous. It's not sexy. It doesn't come with immediate recognition. It doesn't come with applause or fanfare. Most of the time, persistence is lonely. You are grinding while others play. You are learning while others sleep. You are pushing while others quit. And that's exactly why persistence works. Because while everyone else is distracted, discouraged, or defeated, you are building the foundation for something extraordinary. You are planting the seeds that will grow into success that will last a lifetime. Let me tell you another truth. Persistence requires sacrifice. It requires trading comfort for growth, leisure for work, instant gratification for long-term success. You will have to do things that are uncomfortable, inconvenient, and exhausting. You will have to make choices that others are unwilling to make. You will have to endure criticism, skepticism, and doubt from others and from yourself. And here's the reality. If you are not willing to make these sacrifices, persistence will not be enough. But if you are willing, if you commit fully, if you refuse to quit, the results will follow. Every time you persist, you are investing in a future version of yourself that is unstoppable, unshakable, and triumphant. Persistence also builds character. Talent can get you opportunities, but persistence builds integrity, resilience, and mental toughness. Talent may win a game, but persistence wins the championship. Persistence teaches you patience. Persistence teaches you discipline. Persistence teaches you how to overcome fear, doubt, and adversity. And those lessons are not just useful in achieving success, they're essential for sustaining it. Because the higher you climb, the more obstacles appear. The bigger your dreams, the more resistance you encounter. And without persistence, even the most talented person will falter. And here's the kicker, persistence compounds. Every effort, every repetition, every act of refusing to quit stacks on top of the last. You don't realize it at first, but over time it adds up. Every day you persist, you are ahead of the person who gave up. Every failure you push through, you are stronger than the person who quit. Every extra hour you work, every extra mile you run, every extra page you study, every step you take when others stop, it compounds. And eventually the results explode. That is the magic of persistence. That is why it beats talent. That's why it wins when brilliance alone fails. Persistence is also about vision. You have to see beyond the present struggle to the reward that awaits. You have to hold on to your purpose when the path seems impossible. You have to visualize the outcome, the result, the dream you are chasing. Most people quit because they lose sight of the prize. They get distracted by immediate discomfort, by temporary setbacks, by the voices of doubt. But if you keep your eyes on your vision, if you persist through the noise, if you keep moving forward no matter what, the finish line will come. And when it does, you will realize that persistence, not talent, was your greatest weapon. Let me give you one more example. J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter, faced countless rejection. She was a single mother living on welfare. She had ideas, yes, but most people would have given up. Most people would have quit after the first rejection, the second, the 10th. But she persisted. She kept submitting her manuscript. She kept believing her work. She kept moving forward despite every no she received. And eventually the world said, yes, that is persistence. That is refusing to let temporary setbacks define your potential. That is proving that persistence beats talent every single time. Persistence also about attitude. It's about refusing to be discouraged, refusing to be defined by circumstances. Most people wait for motivation, wait for inspiration, wait for conditions to be perfect, but persistence doesn't wait. Persistence shows up even when you're tired, even when you're scared, even when everything around you tells you to quit, and that's why it works. Because while talent is limited to ability, persistence is unlimited. While talent can fade, persistence endures. While talent can be outmatched, persistence conquers all. So here's what I want you to do, commit to persistence. Decide today that no matter how hard it gets, no matter how many times you fail, no matter how long it takes, you will never quit. Decide that your effort will outlast talent. Decide that your consistency will outshine brilliance. Decide that you will keep going when everyone else stops, that you will keep showing up when no one is watching, that you will push harder when everyone else gives up. Because when you do, you are unstoppable. Because when you do, you are breaking through limits that talent alone could never overcome. Because when you do, persistence becomes your superpower. And I want you to remember this. The path will not be easy. You will face failure, rejection, setbacks, and obstacles. You will be tired, frustrated, and tempted to quit. But that's the moment when persistence matters most. That is the moment when you must dig deeper, push harder, and refuse to be defeated. Every great achievement, every extraordinary success, every life-changing breakthrough comes to the person who refuses to quit. Talent may get you noticed, but persistence gets you results. Talent may start the race, but persistence finishes it. So today I challenge you, be relentless. Be unshakable. Be unstoppable. Persist when it's hard. Persist when it's uncomfortable. Persist when everyone else walks away. Persist when failure seems inevitable. Persist when you're tired, when you're doubting, when you're afraid. Because persistence is not just a strategy, it is a lifestyle. It is a mindset. It is the key that unlocks every door talent alone cannot open. And if you commit to persistence, I promise you this, you will win. You will succeed. You will achieve greatness. You will become unstoppable. Failure. Most people fear it. Most people run from it. Most people pretend it doesn't exist. But the truth is, failure is not the enemy, it is a teacher. Failure is the most powerful feedback system in the world. If you want to grow, if you want to achieve greatness, if you want to rise above the average, you must embrace failure. You must welcome it. You must see it for what it really is. Information, insight, a guidepost that shows you where you need to improve, where you need to work harder, where you need to adjust, and where you need to grow. The sooner you embrace failure as feedback, the faster you will rise, the stronger you will become, and the closer you will get to your dreams. Think about it. Every person who has achieved extraordinary success has failed. Not once, not twice, but countless times. Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player of all time, missed over 9,000 shots in his career. Over 9,000. And he failed publicly, repeatedly. Every time he missed, he could have quit. Every time he failed, he could have said, I'm not good enough. But instead, he studied the miss, corrected the form, practiced the shot, and came back stronger. Failure was not a stop sign for him, it was a guide. It told him what to improve, where to focus, and how to get better. That is the mindset you must adopt. And failure is not a defeat, it is a lesson. Most people treat failure like a curse. They see it as proof that they are incapable, that they are not worthy, that they do not have what it takes. But that is a lie. Failure is not a reflection of your worth. It is a reflection of your current strategy. It is a reflection of the approach you are taking, the method you are using, and the actions you have taken. When you embrace failure as feedback, you shift from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. You stop seeing failure as a reflection of who you are and start seeing it as a tool to become who you are meant to be. Let's get real. Failure hurts. Nobody likes it. Nobody wants it. It's uncomfortable. It's frustrating. It's discouraging. It's embarrassing. And yet, if you want to achieve anything extraordinary, you will face it. You will encounter it. You will meet it head on. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is not whether they encounter failure. They all do. It's how they respond to it. The winners, the champions, the high achievers, they don't run from failure. They lean into it. They study it. They learn from it. They adjust. And then they try again, armed with knowledge and experience that failure has given them. Failure is feedback that teaches you resilience. When you fail, you learn that you can survive disappointment, rejection, and setbacks. You learn that falling down is not the end. You learn that you can get back up. Every time you fail and continue, you strengthen your ability to endure adversity. Most people quit at the first sign of failure. They take it personally. They see it as a judgment on their identity. But those who understand the power of failure know that it's temporary, that is part of the process, and that is essential for growth. You cannot reach your highest potential without facing failure repeatedly and learning from it consistently. Here's another truth. Failure is honest, unlike compliments, praise, or even success. Failure tells you exactly what is working and what is not. It cuts through the illusions and exposes reality. When you fail, you can ignore it, blame others, or complain, or you can analyze it, take responsibility, and use it to improve. The latter is what separates the average from the exceptional. Failure is brutally honest feedback. And if you have the courage to listen, it will guide you to mastery, to achievement, and to results you never thought possible. Think about Thomas Edison. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Imagine if he had given up at attempt number 110 or even 1,000. We would not have the light bulb. He treated failure not as a reason to quit, but as data. Every failure told him something. Every setback pointed him in a new direction. Every mistake brought him closer to success. That is the mindset you must cultivate. Failure is not your enemy. It is your mentor. Failure is your teacher. Failure is your roadmap to greatness. And here's the thing, failure is personal only if you make it personal. Most people internalize failure. They say, "I failed, therefore I am a failure." But that is not true. You are not your mistakes. You are not your setbacks. You are not your losses. You are a work in progress. You are learning, growing, and evolving. When you separate your identity from your results, failure becomes less frightening. It becomes an opportunity to pivot, to adjust, to improve, and to try again. Your value is not defined by your failure. It is defined by your ability to rise above them. Failure also builds creativity. When you fail, you are forced to think differently, to try new approaches, to innovate. If everything worked perfectly the first time, you would never be challenged to grow. You would never be pushed to stretch your limits. You would never discover new possibilities. But failure demands adaptation. It forces you to explore, to invent, and to develop solutions that you would never have discovered otherwise. Every failed attempt is a stepping stone to innovation, progress, and excellence. Those who fear failure stifle their creativity. Those who embrace failure unleash it. Another truth is this: failure humbles you. It reminds you that you are human. It reminds you that no matter how talented, skilled, or intelligent you are, there's always room to grow, always more to learn. And that humility is powerful because it keeps you teachable. It keeps you hungry. It keeps you striving for better. The moment you think you know it all, the moment you fear no failure, the moment you stop learning is the moment you stop growing. Failure keeps you grounded. Failure keeps you moving. Failure keeps you on the path to excellence. And let's not forget about the role of persistence in failure. Most people quit after failing once. They give up when the first obstacle appears. But those who succeed, they persist. They use failure as feedback and continue. They analyze what went wrong, adjust their strategy, and take action again. That is how ordinary people become extraordinary. That is how dreams become reality. That is how champions are forged. Without failure, persistence has no meaning. Without failure, growth has no depth. Without failure, success is fleeting. Embrace failure, learn from it, and keep moving forward. Failure also teaches you self-awareness. When you fail, you are forced to examine your strengths and weaknesses. You are forced to confront your habits, your decisions, and your mindset. You discover what works and what doesn't. You uncover areas that need improvement. Most people avoid this self-reflection because failure is uncomfortable. But discomfort is where growth lives. And the more honest you are with yourself in the face of failure, the faster you will evolve, the faster you will improve, and the faster you will succeed. Here's a reality check. Failure is inevitable. You will fail. Everyone does. You cannot avoid it. You cannot escape it. You cannot achieve anything meaningful without encountering failure along the way. And the sooner you accept this, the sooner you can start using it to your advantage. Instead of fearing failure, welcome it. Instead of avoiding it, analyze it. Instead of letting it break you, let it shape you. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the process of success. Every failure is a lesson in disguise. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Every mistake is an opportunity to get better. And here's the power of perspective. Failure is only final if you decide it is. You get to define what failure means. You get to decide whether a setback is a permanent defeat or a temporary lesson. You get to choose whether a mistake stops you or teaches you. And the more you embrace failure as feedback, the more resilient you become, the stronger you grow, and the closer you move to achieving your vision. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is not the number of failures. They all fail. It's how they interpret, process, and respond to those failures. Failure also builds courage. Every time you fail and continue, every time you take a risk and stumble, every time you face disappointment and push forward, you are building courage. Courage is not the absence of fear or failure. It is acting despite fear and failure. Each failure you experience, each lesson you extract, each step you take after what makes you braver. You develop the confidence to face bigger challenges, to take bigger risks, and to pursue bigger dreams. Failure, when embraced, becomes your training ground for courage, resilience, and unstoppable determination. And let me remind you, failure accelerates growth. You learn faster, adapt quicker, and evolve more rapidly when you use setbacks as feedback. Success alone can lull you into complacency. Talent alone can inflate your ego, but failure forces you to adjust. Failure forces you to sharpen your skills. Failure forces you to reflect, strategize, and take action differently. Every failure is an opportunity to grow faster than you ever could by only pursuing success. That is why embracing failure is essential for anyone serious about achieving greatness. So today, I want you to shift your mindset. Stop fearing failure. Stop avoiding it. Stop taking it personally. Start seeing failure as feedback, as a teacher, as a necessary step toward growth, improvement, and ultimate success. When you fall, get up. When you stumble, correct your course. When you lose, learn the lesson and try again. The path to greatness is not straight. It is full of obstacles, setbacks, and failures. And the person who embraces these failures, learns from them, and continues is the one who wins. That is the mindset you must adopt. Failure is feedback. It is honest. It is instructive. It is unavoidable. It is powerful. And if you are willing to embrace it, analyze it, and learn from it, it will guide you to heights you never thought possible. Every failure is a signpost pointing the way to improvement. Every setback is an opportunity to get stronger. Every mistake is a chance to refine your approach. And every lesson learned brings you one step closer to your goals, your vision, and your ultimate potential. So don't run from failure. Don't fear it. Don't hide from it. Embrace it. Welcome it. Use it. Let it teach you. Let it shape you. Let it guide you. And every time you encounter it, remember this. The greatest achievers in history failed more times than you can imagine. But they used failure as feedback. They learned, they adapted, and they persisted. That is how they won. That is how they became unstoppable. That's how they achieved greatness. And that is how you will too if you choose to embrace failure as your most powerful teacher. Your mindset is everything. Let me repeat that. Your mindset is everything. The way you see yourself, the way you perceive your challenges, the way you interpret your circumstances, it all starts in your mind. Most people fail before they even begin because their mindset is limiting them. They believe they are not enough. They believe they can't succeed. They believe their situation defines them. I'm here to tell you something. Your reality is not determined by your circumstances. It is determined by your mindset. How you think dictates how you live. How you respond dictates the results you achieve. Your mindset is the lens through which you view the world. And if that lens is clouded with doubt, fear, or negativity, you will never see the opportunities that are right in front of you. Most people don't understand this, and that's why they complain about their reality. They blame the system, the economy, their upbringing, or their luck. They blame everything except themselves. But here's the truth. The person who controls their mind controls their life. The person who chooses to think positively, to focus on solutions, to see opportunities instead of obstacles, creates a reality that others only dream about. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's mindset, and mindset can be developed, strengthened, and mastered. It is the foundation of every success story, every breakthrough, every life-changing achievement you have ever heard. Let me break it down for you. A mindset is not just your thoughts. It's your beliefs, your expectations, your attitudes, and your mental habits. It is the internal software that runs your life. And if your software is corrupted with self-doubt, fear, and limiting beliefs, your actions will reflect that. You will hesitate. You will procrastinate. You will give up at the first sign of difficulty. But if you upgrade your mindset, if you program it for growth, resilience, and determination, your actions will follow. You will persevere. You will take risks. You will push through obstacles, and you will achieve results that once seemed impossible. Let me tell you something else most people don't realize. Your mindset shapes your habits. If you believe you are lazy, unmotivated, or incapable, your habits will confirm that belief. You will avoid the work, make excuses, and justify your inaction. But if you believe you are capable, disciplined, and resilient, your habits will reflect that belief. You will show up, you will put in the work, and you will push past discomfort. Your mindset is the engine behind every habit you form, every decision you make, and every action you take. Change your mindset and you change your life. Think about athletes for a moment. The most successful athletes in the world are not just physically gifted. They are mentally strong. Their mindset allows them to push through pain, to endure failure, to keep going when everyone else quits. Michael Jordan missed thousands of shots. Yet he persisted because his mindset told him failure was temporary, feedback was valuable, and greatness was achievable. Serena Williams faced countless setbacks, injuries, and defeats, yet her mindset kept her disciplined, focused, and unstoppable. The same principle applies to your life. Your mindset determines whether you rise or fall, whether you succeed or settle, whether you achieve your dreams or watch them pass by. Your mindset also determines how you respond to challenges. Life will test you. Life will push you to your limits. Life will throw obstacles, setbacks, and failures in your path. But it is not the obstacle that defines you. It is your mindset. Will you see it as a roadblock or a stepping stone? Will you see it as a reason to quit or a reason to grow? Will you let fear control you or will you let courage guide you? The mindset you cultivate determines your ability to overcome adversity. Those who thrive in the face of challenges are not luckier. They simply have a mindset that refuses to be defeated, a mindset that focuses on solution instead of problems, a mindset that sees opportunity in every setback. And here's the reality most people ignore. Mindset affects your environment. The energy you carry, the attitude you project, and the expectations you hold shape the people and circumstances around you. If you approach life with negativity, doubt, and fear, you will attract obstacles, naysayers, and limited opportunities. But if you cultivate a mindset of positivity, resilience, and possibility, you will attract mentors, allies, and opportunities that propel you forward. Your mindset sets the tone for your reality. Change your mindset, and you will change everything around you. Your mindset also impacts your persistence. Most people give up too soon because their mindset convinces them that failure is permanent, that obstacles are insurmountable, and that they are not capable. But the person with a growth mindset understands that failure is feedback, that obstacles are lessons, and that persistence creates results. They refuse to quit. They keep moving forward, even when it's hard, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it seems impossible. That mindset, more than talent, more than luck, more than opportunity, is what separates winners from quitters. Let's get real for a moment. Changing your mindset is not easy. Your mind is filled with habits, beliefs, and programming that have developed over years, sometimes decades. Negative thoughts, limiting beliefs, and fear-based thinking are deeply ingrained. But here's the thing. The mind is also malleable. It can be trained. It can be rewired. You can consciously choose to feed it with empowering beliefs, positive affirmations, and constructive thoughts. You can deliberately expose yourself to ideas, people, and experiences that expand your thinking. And over time, with discipline, repetition, and awareness, your mindset will shift. You can literally change the way you see the world, and in doing so, change your reality. Here's another truth. Mindset shapes your resilience. Life will knock you down. That is guaranteed. You will experience setbacks, failures, disappointments, and challenges that test your limits. But your mindset determines whether you stay down or rise stronger. A resilient mindset sees difficulty as temporary challenge as opportunity and failure as a lesson. It allows you to recover faster, adapt smarter, and continue moving toward your goals with unwavering determination. Without the right mindset, resilience is impossible. With it, nothing can stop you. Your mindset also determines your level of ambition. Most people set limits on themselves before they even begin. They say, I can't, I'm not ready, or it's too hard. But a mindset of possibility says, I can, I will, and I will figure it out. It expands your vision, fuels your motivation, and drives you to pursue bigger goals than you ever thought possible. The bigger your mindset, the bigger your results. The narrower your mindset, the smaller your achievements. Your mindset literally sets the ceiling for what you can accomplish. And here's the thing about mindset. It influences every decision you make. The choices you make today, the risks you take, the actions you commit to, they all stem from your mindset. If you believe you can achieve, you take action. If you doubt yourself, you hesitate. If you embrace possibility, you persist. If you embrace fear, you quit. Every outcome in your life is filtered through your mindset. Change your thinking, change your choices, change your results. Let me give you another example. Oprah Winfrey, one of the most influential people in the world, grew up in poverty, faced abuse, and experienced countless hardship. Her mindset refused to accept limitations. She believed in her potential, focused on opportunities, and persisted despite obstacles. That mindset allowed her to rise above her circumstances and create a life and career that inspired millions. Your mindset has the same potential to shape your reality. You just have to cultivate it, protect it, and strengthen it every single day. And here's the reality that most people ignore. Mindset is not just about thinking positively. It's about thinking strategically. It's about seeing obstacles as temporary, challenges as lessons, and setbacks as opportunities to grow. It's about focusing on what you can control, letting go of what you cannot, and taking consistent action toward your vision. It's about being intentional with your thoughts, disciplined with your beliefs, and deliberate with your focus. That is how your mindset becomes your superpower. Your mindset also shapes your confidence. Confidence is not born, it is built. And it is built through your beliefs about yourself. If you believe you can achieve, you act confidently. If you believe you are capable, you take risks. If you believe in your vision, you pursue it relentlessly. Confidence without skill may fail temporarily, but confidence with the right mindset sustains you through failure, challenges, and setbacks. That is why mindset determines not just what you achieve, but who you become in the process. Let me remind you, mindset is contagious. The way you think, the way you act, the way you respond to life influences everyone around you. Leaders, mentors, colleagues, friends, they mirror the energy you bring. The positive, resilient, growth-oriented mindset attracts opportunity, collaboration, and inspiration. A negative, fear-based, limiting mindset repels success. Your mindset doesn't just affect your life, it affects the lives of those around you. That is why cultivating a strong mindset is not just a personal priority. It is a responsibility. And here's the truth that nobody tells you. Mindset is the bridge between desire and achievement. You may want something deeply, passionately, and earnestly, but if your mindset does not believe it's possible, you will never take the consistent action required to achieve it. Desire without mindset is wishful thinking. Action without mindset is aimless effort. But when your mindset aligns with your goals, your desires, and your actions, you create unstoppable momentum. That is why your mindset truly determines your reality. So today I challenge you, examine your mindset. What are the beliefs that are holding you back? What are the fears that are limiting your potential? What are the thoughts that keep you stuck, small, and hesitant? Identify them, confront them, replace them with empowering beliefs, with growth-oriented thoughts, and with an unwavering commitment to possibility. Feed your mind with the ideas, perspectives, and habits that expand your vision and strengthen your resolve. Protect your mindset from negativity, doubt, and limitation. And watch as your reality begins to transform before your eyes. Your mindset is not static. It is not fixed. It is dynamic, flexible, and capable of evolution. You have the power to choose your mindset every single day. You have the power to cultivate resilience, confidence, optimism, and determination. You have the power to define how you respond to challenges, setbacks, and failures. You have the power to create a reality that aligns with your dreams, your vision, and your potential. The question is, will you take that power seriously, or will you let your mind control you? The choice is yours. Remember this, the only limits in your life are the ones you accept in your mind. The only barriers you face are the ones you create internally. The only thing standing between you and your greatness is your mindset. Change your mindset and you change your reality. Embrace the power of your thoughts, beliefs, and mental focus. Strengthen them daily. Protect them relentlessly. And let them guide you to the life you were meant to live. Your mindset is the master key. Your mindset determines your reality. Comfort is the enemy of progress. Comfort is the silent assassin of dreams. Most people will never achieve their true potential because they cling to what is familiar, what is easy, what is safe. They stay in their comfort zone, thinking it's secure, thinking it is enough, thinking it will protect them from failure, pain, and disappointment. But let me tell you something. Your comfort zone is a cage, is a trap. It will never challenge you, it will never grow you, and it will never lead you to the extraordinary life you are capable of living. If you want success, if you want growth, if you want impact, you must step outside of comfort. You must take bold action. You must do what others are too afraid to do. Bold action requires courage. It requires stepping into uncertainty, facing fear, and risking failure. Most people avoid risk because they fear what they do not know. They fear judgment. They fear losing. They fear being wrong. But the truth is, nothing extraordinary was ever achieved by staying safe, by playing it small, by waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment will never come. The perfect conditions do not exist. If you want something you have never had, you must do something you have never done. That is the essence of bold action. Doing what scares you, doing what challenges you, doing what stretches you beyond what you thought possible. Think about history's great innovators, entrepreneurs, and leaders. Elon Musk risked everything on ventures that the world doubted, from PayPal to SpaceX to Tesla. J.K. Rowling faced rejection after rejection, yet she persisted, submitted her manuscript tirelessly, and ultimately created a phenomenon that transformed literature. Steve Jobs repeatedly failed, got fired from his own company, yet he returned stronger, bolder, and more visionary than ever. The common thread in all of these stories is action taken beyond comfort. Bold action transforms vision into reality. Bold action turns dreams into achievements. Bold action separates those who talk from those who do. Most people underestimate the value of discomfort. They think growth should feel easy, that success should be comfortable, that progress should be pain-free. But that is a lie. Growth is messy, success is uncomfortable, progress is painful. You will be tested, you will be stretched, you will be forced to operate in situations that feel awkward, uncertain, and intimidating. That is not a sign to retreat. That is a signal to advance. That is the universe telling you this is where transformation happens. Bold action requires embracing discomfort, learning to thrive in it, and letting it shape you into someone stronger, more capable, and more unstoppable than you ever imagined. And let me be clear, bold action is not reckless action. It is not impulsive. It is not careless. Bold action is intentional. Bold action is strategic. Bold action is calculated risk-taking that pushes you beyond the boundaries of what is safe and predictable. It is about stepping into the unknown with preparation, vision, and courage. It is about taking decisive steps towards your goals, even when you are uncertain about the outcome. Most people wait for clarity before acting. Those who achieve greatness act despite the uncertainty. They trust themselves, trust their preparation, and trust the process. That is how bold action works. Bold action also builds confidence. Confidence is not born. It is developed through repeated acts of courage. Every time you push beyond comfort, every time you take a step when fear wants you to retreat, every time you act despite uncertainty, you reinforce the belief that you are capable, resilient, and unstoppable. Confidence grows not from ease, but from challenge. Confidence grows not from guarantees, but from action. And the more you consistently take bold action, the stronger, bolder, and more courageous you become. That confidence then fuels even greater action, creating a cycle of unstoppable momentum. Fear is the biggest barrier to bold action. Fear whispers lies in your ear. You can't do it, it's too risky. What if you fail? Most people listen to that fear and they let it control their lives. But those who succeed, they recognize fear as a signal, not a stop sign. Fear is a compass pointing to the areas where growth, impact, and opportunity lie. When fear rises, it is a sign that you are about to do something meaningful. When your heart races, when your palms sweat, when doubt creeps in, that's the exact moment to act. Bold action is moving forward when fear is present, using it as fuel rather than a barrier. Let's talk about accountability. Bold action requires responsibility. It requires you to own your life, your choices, and your results. Most people blame circumstances, others, or luck when they fail to act. But bold action requires that you step up, take ownership, and refuse to let excuses dictate your path. If you want to achieve something extraordinary, you must hold yourself accountable for the action required to make it happen. No one else can take that step for you. No one else can live your life. Bold action begins when you stop waiting for permission and start taking responsibility. Bold action also teaches resilience. When you act boldly, you will encounter obstacles. You will face setbacks, you will fail. But those failures are not signs to quit, they are lessons. Bold action builds resilience because it forces you to confront challenges head on, to adapt, and to keep moving forward despite adversity. The more you step outside comfort, the stronger your ability to endure, the more capable you become of handling anything life throws your way. Comfort never teaches resilience. Bold action does. Comfort never produces courage. Bold action does. Comfort never creates extraordinary results. Bold action does. Bold action is also transformative. It changes who you are, not just what you eat. Every step you take outside your comfort zone expands your capacity, broadens your perspective, and reshapes your identity. You become someone who can handle more, achieve more, and inspire more. Bold action teaches you that you are stronger than you think, braver than you imagine, and capable of more than you ever believed possible. Every time you act boldly, you are rewriting your story and elevating your life to new heights. Most people sabotage themselves with inaction. They overthink, overanalyze, and wait for the perfect moment to act. But the perfect moment is a myth. The ideal time will never come. Opportunities are fleeting. Life moves fast. Bold action requires decisiveness. It requires a bias toward execution. The person who acts quickly, decisively, and boldly will always outpace the one who hesitates. Action breeds results, clarity, and confidence. Hesitation breeds regret, doubt, and stagnation. That is why bold action is essential. It moves you forward even when the path is uncertain. Bold action also requires vision. You cannot take courageous steps without knowing what you are aiming for. Bold action without vision is chaos. Bold action with vision is unstoppable. When you know what you want, when you see the outcome clearly in your mind, every step outside comfort becomes purposeful. Fear diminishes because your vision is bigger than your doubt. Challenges become opportunities because your destination is clear. And obstacles become lessons because every step brings you closer to what you are striving for. Vision amplifies bold action. It gives it direction, focus, and meaning. Bold action demands persistence. One act of courage does not create transformation. One bold decision does not achieve a dream. Bold action is a lifestyle. It is a habit. It is the daily choice to move beyond fear, to challenge the familiar, and to push past what is safe. Those who achieve greatness take bold action consistently. They do not wait for circumstances to change. They do not wait for motivation to strike. They act relentlessly, persistently, and courageously every single day. That is what creates momentum. That is what builds mastery. And that is what transforms potential into achievement. Let's be honest, bold action is uncomfortable. That is the point. If it were easy, everyone would do it. The discomfort, the challenge, the fear, those are the indicators that you are on the right path. Growth and comfort do not coexist. Success and safety do not coexist. The life you dream of does not live in ease. It lives in a tension between what is familiar and what is possible. Bold action requires that you step into that tension, embrace it, and move forward anyway. That is where transformation happens. That is where you discover who you really are. Bold action inspires others. When you step out of your comfort zone and act courageously, people notice. Your boldness becomes a beacon. Your courage becomes contagious. You elevate not just yourself, but everyone around you. Bold action is not selfish. It's catalytic. It motivates, challenges, and encourages others to rise above their own limitation. The world needs bold action. It needs people willing to take risks, challenge the status quo, and push boundaries. And when you act boldly, you become a force that moves others to greatness as well. And here's the reality most people avoid. Bold action is risky. There are no guarantees. There is no safety net. You may fail. You may fall. You may face criticism, doubt, or rejection. But that is the cost of greatness. That is the price of extraordinary achievement. If you want a life that is average, you can stay comfortable. But if you want a life that is extraordinary, you must risk discomfort. You must risk failure. You must risk judgment. You must act boldly, consistently, and courageously. That is the difference between the ordinary and the extraordinary. Bold action creates momentum. Every step beyond comfort compounds. Every risk taken, every challenge faced, every fear confronted builds a rhythm of courage and progress. Momentum is the force that carries you forward when obstacles arise, when motivation fades, and when fear whispers to quit. The more bold action you take, the more unstoppable you become. Momentum transforms struggle into achievement, fear into confidence, and dreams into reality. Without bold action, momentum cannot exist. With bold action, it becomes unstoppable. So today, I want you to make a decision. Decide that you will no longer settle for comfort. Decide that you will take action even when it is uncomfortable. Decide that you will face fear, embrace uncertainty, and push beyond what is familiar. Decide that you will act boldly, not just one, but every day in every area of your life. Decide that you will not let hesitation, doubt, or fear control your destiny. Decide that your life will be defined not by safety, but by courage, audacity, and bold action. Remember this, comfort is temporary, but bold action creates legacy. Comfort keeps you stagnant. Bold action propels you forward. Comfort produces mediocrity. Bold action produces greatness. Comfort protects you from pain, but bold action delivers purpose, growth, and achievement. The difference between where you are and where you want to be is bold action. The difference between average and extraordinary is bold action. The difference between a life of regret and a life of fulfillment is bold action. So step up, take the risk, move beyond fear, challenge yourself, push past the familiar. Take bold action today, tomorrow, and every day thereafter. Your comfort zone will resist. Your doubts will scream. Your fears will fight you. But do it anyway. Do it consistently. Do it relentlessly. And watch as your life transforms, as your potential is unlocked, and as the extraordinary becomes your reality. Bold action is not optional. It is essential. Bold action is your path to greatness. Bold action is how you win. As we come to the close of this message, I want you to feel the weight of what we've discussed. I want you to internalize it, because this is not just words. It's a call to action, a blueprint for transformation, and a challenge to rise above mediocrity. You've heard about the power of embracing challenges, pushing limits, cultivating discipline, visualizing your success, using failure as feedback, controlling your mindset, and taking bold action beyond comfort. Now it's time to connect it all and understand what it truly means for your life. The conclusion is not merely a summary. It is the ignition that sparks change. The moment where understanding meets action and the place where ordinary people become extraordinary. You see, life is not waiting for you. Time does not slow down because you hesitate. Opportunities do not linger for the cautious. Every moment you delay, every excuse you make, every fear you entertain, the world continues moving forward with or without you. And the truth is, nobody is coming to hand you success on a silver platter. No one will push you, no one will chase you, and no one will do for you what you must do for yourself. The world rewards action, it rewards courage. It rewards courage, and it rewards those who refuse to settle. The message is simple, yet profound. You must step into your life with intentionality, purpose, and boldness. You must take ownership of every action, every thought, and every decision. Do not let fear dictate your path. Fear will always exist. Doubt will always linger. Obstacles will always appear. And the easy choice will always tempt you. But greatness does not live in fear. Greatness does not dwell in the safe, familiar, or comfortable. Greatness lives where others hesitate, where others retreat, and where others convince themselves they are not enough. If you want more, if you want success, fulfillment, and impact, you must step into the space that fear wants you to avoid. You must confront the unknown, push past hesitation, and act decisively. Every act of courage you take strengthens you. Every time you face discomfort, you grow. Every challenge you overcome expands what you believe is possible. Remember this, the only limits that exist are the ones you accept. If you tell yourself you cannot, you will not. If you allow your circumstances to define you, they will. But when you challenge your limits, when you refuse to be confined by fear, doubt, or the expectations of others, something extraordinary happens. You start to realize that your potential is far greater than you imagine. You start to understand that your past does not dictate your future, that your mistakes do not define you, and that your failures are not the end. They are merely stepping stones on the path to mastery. Every time you rise after a setback, every time you push past pain, every time you refuse to quit, you rewrite your story. You redefine what is possible. Discipline is your bridge between dreams and reality. Talent without discipline is wasted potential. Ambition without structure is chaos. And desire without action is meaningless. To achieve what others cannot, you must do what others will not. That means rising before the sun, staying after the work is done, sacrificing comfort for growth, and being relentless in the pursuit of excellence. Discipline is not punishment. It is empowerment. Discipline is the tool that allows you to transform your vision into reality. Discipline is the daily demonstration that your commitment is stronger than your excuses. It is the evidence that you are willing to pay the price others refuse to pay. Visualization is not just daydream. Visualization is programming your mind for success. When you see yourself achieving your goals, when you feel the emotions of victory, your subconscious begins to align your actions with that vision. You start recognizing opportunities that others miss. You start believing that success is inevitable. You start acting in ways that make your dreams possible. The mind cannot distinguish vividly imagined experience from reality. By visualizing your success, you are creating a mental blueprint that guides every decision, every action, and every choice you make. When combined with discipline, visualization becomes unstoppable. And when failure comes, and do not run from it, do not internalize it as proof of your inadequacy. Failure is feedback. It is a teacher. It is a guide pointing you toward growth, improvement, and mastery. Every rejection, every loss, every mistake is a lesson disguised as discomfort. Most people see failure and quit. Most people see failure and make excuses. But those who achieve greatness embrace failure, analyze it, learn from it, and use it as fuel for the next attempt. Failure is not a dead end. It's a detour leading you to a stronger, wiser, and more prepared version of yourself. Your mindset is the foundation upon which everything else rests. If you believe you are limited, you will never rise. If you believe you are capable, you will find a way. Your thoughts shape your beliefs. Your beliefs shape your actions. Your actions shape your results. The person who conquers their own mind can conquer anything in life. The person who maintains a growth mindset in the face of challenges, setbacks, and criticism becomes unstoppable. Mindset is not just a tool. It is the lens through which your reality is created. Cultivate it, protect it, and strengthen it relentlessly. Bold action is the final piece. Thinking, planning, and visualizing are critical, but they are useless without action. Bold action requires courage. Bold action requires risk. Bold action demands that you move forward even when the outcome is uncertain, even when the path is unclear, even when fear screams for retreat. The difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who do not is that one acts and the other hesitates. The world belongs to the doers, the bold, the persistent, the relentless. It belongs to those who refuse to let comfort, fear, or doubt dictate their destiny. Bold action turns potential into achievement, dreams into reality, and vision into impact. Every keynote we discuss connects like a chain, a system, a formula for success. Embrace challenges, because they will test you. Push your limits, because comfort will kill your potential. Cultivate discipline, because talent alone is insufficient. Visualize success, because your mind must see it first. Learn from failure, because growth comes from reflection and adaptation. Master your mindset, because it shapes your reality. Take bold action, because execution is everything. When combined, these principles create momentum that is unstoppable, resilience that is unshakable, and achievement that is extraordinary. This is not theoretical. This is actionable. This is practical. This is life-changing if you commit to it. And the truth is, it requires everything from you: your focus, your energy, your courage, and your determination. There are no shortcuts. There are no guarantees. There are no handouts. What there is a choice. You can choose comfort, safety, and mediocrity, or you can choose challenges, growth, and greatness. You can choose excuses, hesitation, and doubt, or you can choose discipline, boldness, and relentless action. Every day, every moment, you are choosing. And those choices compound over time to create the reality you experience. Let me be blunt. Nobody's going to do this for you. Teachers will guide. Mentors will advise. Opportunities will appear. But no one can take your steps for you. The responsibility is yours. The journey is yours. The work is yours. And if you do not rise to that responsibility, if you do not embrace that journey, if you do not do the work, your dreams will remain exactly that, dreams. But if you accept the challenge, if you embrace the struggle, if you commit to excellence, you will achieve more than you imagine. You will discover potential you didn't know existed. You will create a life worth living. You will leave a legacy that inspires. Persistence is your ally. Bold action and discipline will carry you through the early stages, but persistence is what sustains you when the results are slow, when motivation wanes, when the world doubts you. Most people quit right before their breakthrough. Most people give up when the discomfort peaks. But those who persist, those who continue despite obstacles, those who act even when progress seems invisible, are the ones who achieve extraordinary outcomes. Persistence transforms struggle into mastery, effort into excellence, and failure into stepping stones. And remember, this journey is not linear. There will be setbacks. There will be moments when you question yourself, when fear tempts you to retreat, when doubt clouds your vision. That is normal. That is expected. That is part of growth. What separates the successful from the unsuccessful is not the absence of difficulty. It is the refusal to quit in the presence of difficulty. Success is not a straight path. It is a climb. It is a marathon. It is a battle. And it is won by those who are disciplined, resilient, courageous, and relentless. Your environment matters. Surround yourself with people who challenge you, inspire you, and hold you accountable. Avoid those who doubt, discourage, or drain. Energy is contagious. Mindset is contagious. Ambition is contagious. Align yourself with those who elevate you, and you will rise to new heights. Align yourself with negativity, and you will stagnate. The people you choose, the spaces you inhabit, and the influences you accept will either propel you forward or hold you back. Choose wisely. Protect your energy, guard your focus, and let your environment reinforce the greatness you are building. Ultimately, the life you want is available to you, but it requires action, it requires commitment, It requires courage. It requires persistence. It requires discipline. It requires embracing challenges, pushing limits, learning from failure, mastering mindset, and taking bold action beyond comfort. It will not be easy. It will not be convenient. It will not be comfortable. But the reward is worth it. A life defined not by limitation, but by potential. Not by fear, but by courage. Not by mediocrity, but by greatness. Your future is in your hands, and the choice is yours. So rise, stand up, take ownership of your life, commit to discipline, visualize your success. Embrace failure as feedback. Control your mindset, take bold action beyond comfort. Every moment is an opportunity. Every challenge is a lesson. Every fear is a signal to advance. Don't limit your challenges. Challenge your limits. Don't wait for permission. Create your opportunity. Don't settle for less. Demand your best. You have everything you need to succeed, to grow, and to create a life of impact. Now it is time to act. You have heard the message. You have absorbed the principles. You have felt the energy. The final step is execution. Words are powerful, but action is transformational. Dreams are inspiring, but results are undeniable. Knowledge is valuable, but application is everything. And now the responsibility is yours. Step forward with courage. Step forward with discipline. Step forward with vision. Step forward with persistence. Step forward with boldness. Step forward knowing every challenge you face, every fear you overcome, every action you take beyond comfort moves you closer to the extraordinary life that is waiting for you. Your limits exist only to be challenged. Your potential exists only to be realized. Your greatness exists only to be expressed. Refuse to settle. Refuse to quit. Refuse to shrink in the face of fear, doubt, or difficulty. Rise, act, persist, and achieve. Your time is now. Your life is your responsibility. Your legacy is waiting. Take it, own it, live it, and never forget. Don't limit your challenges. Challenge your limits.